Newtech Castro Shanobe, who's the founder for that company, applied as a startup. So that was a bit of a challenge in terms of how much capacity he had to be able to implement the project. But the team had confidence that his innovation was good, and he had the necessary initial capacities that would help in terms of implementing the project.
When MCA put out an advert calling for concept notes, we then thought this was an opportunity to procure equipment, because our biggest challenge was access to finance to set up this idea, because basically it was an idea that we had just tested manually. So we didn't have any equipment, so we're looking for funding to procure this equipment. Well, we're working with a number of Millennium Challenge grantees, other grantees, to access the materials. One of them is GP&J. So GP&J is one organization that we buy the recyclable from. So their main business is to collect waste from communities and then take to Chunga dam site. So we then buy off the plastics from them. There's a project called Vision Green under Manjapamosi that is in Vera Chiluba. That is also another supplier of recyclable. So we've been procuring materials from those. So their main interest, like for Vision Green, their focus is just to collect recyclables. So they collect, other than plastic, they collect bottles and paper as well, but we off-take the plastics. What we do is that when we receive the material, once somebody gets a minimum of about 200 kilograms, they give us a call to go and pick up. So we've got a truck that we procured with the support of MCA that we use to go and pick the material in the different communities. Then once the material comes in, it is similar to these bags that are here. So they just, once the material comes here, we start by sorting and removing the stickers from the containers. And once we remove the stickers, we then crush the plastics into flakes. Then from crushing into flakes, we then wash it and disinfect the plastics. That's when we dry the flakes. Then from drying the flakes, we run it through the pelletizing line to make the pellets. So there are a number of people that are now interested in the pellets and the poles. For the poles, after we make the pellets, that's when we then now attach molds for producing the poles, which we then make poles, and we're doing fencing for the farms and also outdoor furniture. We currently have a total of 8 people working here. 2 of them are working part-time. So the other 6 have been, from the 6, 5 of them were working elsewhere, but now they're getting better revenue or income as opposed to where they were. One of them was basically a freelance carpenter who has also joined us to help us do the outdoor furniture. And the biggest benefit that we've had as grantees is that, firstly, it's very difficult to access finance as when you have an innovation. And with MCA, with the windows that we had for both the small and the bigger grants, we had access to try out some innovations. And for us, we managed to also secure other partnerships that helped us access other equipment as well. So the IGP in itself also helped us improve our management skills, because we had a series of trainings. I'd just like to appreciate not only the funding, but also the knowledge and the linkages that MCA and IGP has helped us to get. Because through their support, we've been able to set up this innovation that does not only benefit us as employees of Newtech Recycling, but also has a positive impact on the environment and on the country as a whole. And we hope in future we could get some linkages and partnerships that we can scale it out countrywide, because it's also benefiting the very vulnerable people in the communities who are collecting these materials for us to access.